Tell us a little bit about, how long this process was. When did you come up with the idea, and how long did it take?
We had about a week of pre-production on this thing, so we kind of, we had the idea actually the year before, and we couldn't really talk to him about it, because of some regulations or whatever. And we pitched him the idea, and he said yes, and literally we just turned the cameras on and went and didn't stop for like 6 months. And then the post-process was about 6 months, so almost a year to the day that we started the project was when it aired.
You spent a year or more gathering all this footage, and for ESPN, boiled it down to, about 50 minutes?
50 minutes.
So what's next? Are you going to use some of that footage for other things, or?
We have the DVD coming out that's going to be an extra like 15, 20 minutes on the feature, and then there's like an hour and a half of special features. There's 1,000 hours of footage that we still have out there, so there's a lot of stuff still to see on this piece.
How has that changed Fiction, your company that you have here locally? How has doing this project and getting it on ESPN changed the face of that?
I think for us, it's really being able to say, we're the guys that did this. And kind of before we do commercial work and that kind of thing, but we never had anything that we could put our stamp on and say, this is what we do. And so this is that piece for us, and it really helps us out with getting in the door in places and talking to people. And a lot of people have seen it, so you can say, did you see the Tebow piece? And they're like, yeah, totally. And so you can start conversations that way.
So Tim, what is it, compare for us the difference in your dealing with media now than it was when you had this band of camera people?
Well, I think every situation's a little bit different. You have to handle it differently. With Chase and Matt and Tony and everybody at Fiction, I never even paid attention or never even thought twice about what I said, or I was even joke with them or do stupid stuff. And that's why you would see some of that stuff actually made it on camera. Like when I throw the football down, that's just because I was looking at Chase and just, in a goofy mood and being funny and wasn't even thinking the camera was on. And so many times because, you can't trust a lot of media, and so you don't know what they're trying to get or whether they're trying to portray you in a bad light or something. So you always kind of have to be, I guess, somewhat on guard and always, thinking about how you could be perceived. But with these guys, it wasn't that way at all. I just was myself the whole time, and I would make jokes into the camera, I'd laugh, and we would just have fun with it. And most of the time, you're not able to do that, and I think that's what made it so much fun.
Yeah, it's funny because I would consider us media, but not sports media, because I don't know anything about football, to be totally honest. And so
he really has no idea.
It's good though. I think that's part of what makes this what it is, because it's I wasn't coming at it from a sports perspective. I was coming at it from telling this story, and I really think it's bigger than a sports piece. It's definitely an interesting story, and sports is just kind of the genre that it's under.
How did the parameters that ESPN presented the year of the quarterback series, the fact that it needed to be under an hour, how did that change what your original vision was? Because you had initially envisioned something longer, correct?
Yeah, and we kind of came into the piece, I wanted to do a feature, and I wanted this to be a theatrical release, and so I did all this research, or my team did some research, and we kind of looked into it, and as far as an audience and having the most people see this thing, ESPN was the right place to do it. And so it took a while to get there, but I think it was a good thing. And I was talking to somebody about the numbers we had. I think it was 1.2 million was the first showing. And then I talked to somebody at Walden Media, and they said that was bigger than the Narnia first day opening. Wow. So it's well, you can't beat that.